We are going to continue our series that we just started in our last broadcast concerning life plan, helping us understand God's life plan for our life. We're going to take a look at our scripture reading for today, taken from the book of Genesis, chapter 42, verse 2. Verse 2 is where we're going to read. Genesis chapter 42, verse 2. And he said, "Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die." I want to set this up. In the prior chapter, in chapter 41, we have the evidence that there is a famine that was forecasted by young Joseph, who is now technically a captured resident, if you will, in Egypt. He is one of the sons of Jacob, as a matter of fact, that we identify here in chapter 42. He is incarcerated, as I said, in Egypt. Joseph, he has become a visionary, if you will. He has become a prophetic visionary, one who's been able to interpret dreams. And one of the dreams that the Pharaoh of Egypt had was regarding 7 years of famine and 7 years of prosperity. That vision has come, that prophecy has actually come to pass. And there is a famine in all of the land except in Egypt, because Joseph was able to have that forecast, that foreshadow, that foreknowledge, and prepare the house of Pharaoh to be able to store up corn, to store up meal, to store up provision, not only for the residents of Egypt, but for anybody else living in what is referred to the Levant, that Palestine area, that territory, for them to be required to come to Pharaoh in order to have bread and provision. Well, as chapter 42 opens up, in the very first verse, I'm just going to read this from the scripture. "Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said to his sons, 'Why do you look upon one another?'" Well, I have an interesting thought here concerning what's happening in this passage. Life always has options that lead to opportunities. So I want to clearly define what I mean by options that lead to opportunities. Here in this passage, Jacob is saying to his sons that if we recognize that there is corn outside of where we currently reside, we could be eating and not sitting here looking at each other trying to figure out what we're going to do. It's interesting how we can close ourselves in and we create self-made boundaries or borders, and we have decided that I can only fix my problem based on my current environment. We close ourselves in and we have limited, as a matter of fact, we have eliminated any other possibilities because we've created self-made boundaries regarding what we can do.